Many Americans finance $20,000 motorcycles loaded with traction control, cornering ABS, and ride modes they will never use. Then they ride twice a month, maybe. Meanwhile, 3 billion people across 3 continents chose a different path. They bought simple, rugged machines that last 20 years, run on terrible roads, and get fixed with basic tools. The Royal Enfield Himalayan brings that exact philosophy to America for $5,799. In the next 10 minutes, I am going to show you why a Himalayan solves real riding problems better than any $20,000 badge ever will. The stakes are simple. Keep financing features you do not need and riding less, or regain mechanical freedom and actually use your bike. There is one massive mistake riders make when they upgrade to those expensive machines that the Himalayan completely avoids. I will show you exactly what that is. Let us talk about the emotional cost first. You are making payments for 7 years on a bike that sits in the garage because you are terrified of scratching it. 2 rides a month if you are lucky. That is not freedom. That is anxiety on 2 wheels. The opportunity cost is even worse. All that money sunk into electronics, radar cruise control, and TFT displays could have been seat time, dirt roads, and learning to do your own maintenance. Here is a belief that needs to die right now. Power and technology do not equal satisfaction. Ride frequency and confidence drive joy. Look at the global success of simple bikes. The Himalayan 450 is winning across markets because it was designed with purpose, not polish. It is not trying to be everything, it is trying to be enough. That is exactly what most riders actually need. Here is a pattern nobody talks about. Spec sheet chasing leads to less riding. You buy the bike with the most horsepower, the fanciest suspension, the longest list of features. Then you ride it to the coffee shop and back. Simple bikes get used daily because there is nothing to fear. You drop it, you pick it up, you scratch it, it is character. You break something, you fix it yourself. That is why the Himalayan philosophy works. So if that is the why, here is what actually fixes it without neutering the fun. The Himalayan is built on a concept the American industry forgot exists: enoughness. Not the most torque, not the highest horsepower, not the longest feature list. Enough torque to pull you through technical terrain. Enough gearing to handle highway runs without screaming. Enough serviceability that you can actually maintain it yourself. That is the core revelation. Excess does not make you ride more, it makes you worry more. The Himalayan just happens to be the cleanest expression of this idea, but the same logic applies to bikes like the DR650, KLR, older SVs, or anything simple that gets ridden instead of polished. Let us break down what that philosophy looks like in metal. The chassis is rugged, designed to take hits and keep going. The 452 cubic centimeters single-cylinder engine is tractable, not manic. It makes 40 horsepower, which sounds boring until you realize that is plenty for 90% of the riding most people actually do. Service intervals are long, 10,000 kilometers between major checks. The subframe is real, not a bolt-on afterthought, so you can load it with gear without cracking welds. Spoked wheels mean you can fix a flat on the trail instead of calling a tow truck. Here is where it gets good for anyone who turns wrenches. Valve checks are something you can actually do in your driveway. The fasteners are common sizes. There is no dealer-only diagnostic software locking you out of your own bike. You own it, you fix it. Compare that to a $20,000 adventure bike. Ride modes you toggle through once and then forget. Cornering a BS that adds weight and failure points. Radar cruise control for long highway slogs you could have avoided by taking the fun route. TFT displays that look cool in the showroom, but glitch in the heat. Every electronic feature is another thing that can break 200 miles from nowhere. I have watched a rider lose ride modes and traction control after a muddy water crossing because a wheel speed sensor got packed with debris. The bike ran, but it would not let him turn features off. He was in limp mode, 60 miles from pavement. That is not rare. That is complexity. And when it breaks, you are not fixing it. You are scheduling a dealer appointment and hoping the part is in stock. The Himalayan's ergonomics are neutral. Upright stance, low stress on your wrists and lower back. The seat height is manageable for most riders, which builds confidence off pavement. It is ready for racks, soft luggage, and a toolkit without expensive accessory packages. Running costs are where this gets brutal for the competition. Tires, chains, filters, all priced so you can ride weekly without hesitating at every service interval. A $20,000 bike might have better suspension components, but when a fork seal costs $200 and requires a dealer, you are not saving money. You are bleeding it. Now let's handle the counterpoint, because I know someone's thinking it. What about interstate riding at 85 miles per hour for hours? If your life genuinely requires interstate days of 500 miles at 85 miles per hour, a bigger bike makes sense. No argument there. But that's not how most American motorcycles are actually used, and buying for the exception is how people end up riding less. The reality is 80% of motorcycle trips in America are under 10 miles. Commutes, errands, weekend backroad loops, fire roads. For that kind of riding, which is most riding, the Himalayan wins on every metric that actually matters. Real roads beat marketing every time. Gravel driveways, broken pavement, potholes the size of basketballs. The Himalayan suspension travel and geometry handle it without drama. The expensive adventure bike can do it too, but you are tiptoeing around because one drop means $2,000 in plastics and electronics. The Himalayan, you drop it, you pick it up, you keep riding. So knowing what the Himalayan is matters. Now here is how to make it work for your actual riding instead of some fantasy adventure you saw in a magazine. First step is defining your riding reality. Be honest with yourself. Are you commuting 5 days a week, running backroad loops on weekends, hitting fire roads and light adventure terrain? Gear the bike to that, not to some hypothetical cross-country expedition you might take in 5 years. Quick wins start with gearing. The Himalayan comes with a 15-tooth front sprocket. If you are doing more highway work, keep it. If you are spending time on technical terrain and back roads, drop to a 14-tooth. That change costs you $30 in 20 minutes. It gives you more grunt in the low end and makes technical riding way more manageable. Tire choice is the same deal. You do not need $400 adventure tires for mixed riding. A good dual sport tire that bites on dirt and lives on pavement runs you $120 to $150 per set. Mount them yourself if you have tire irons and some patience, or pay a shop $40. Either way, you are riding for less than the cost of one fancy dinner. Maintenance rhythm is where you actually beat the expensive bikes. Chain, spokes, valves, fluids, cables. 30 minutes, once a month. Done. You just maintained a motorcycle for the cost of oil. Compare that to a $20,000 bike where the service manual tells you to see your dealer for half the items on that list. Luggage simplicity matters more than you think. Soft bags and a tail rack keep weight low and cost down. You do not need $1,200 aluminum panniers to carry a change of clothes and some tools. A $150 set of throw-over bags and some ROK straps will handle 90% of what you are actually hauling. Keep your toolkit dialed for trailside fixes. Basic wrenches, a multi-tool, tire repair kit, zip ties, duct tape, spare levers, and a clutch cable. That fits in a small bag under your seat, and it will get you home from almost anything that goes wrong on the trail. Comfort tweaks beat expensive electronics every single time. Bars that fit your reach, pegs positioned where your feet naturally land, a small windscreen if you are doing highway miles. These are $50 to $200 modifications that make a bigger difference than any ride mode ever will. You are adjusting the bike to your body instead of forcing your body to adapt to the bike. That is how you ride longer without fatigue. Here are the mistakes to avoid. Do not load the Himalayan like you are doing a round-the-world trip when you are going 200 miles. Do not let highway ego convince you that you need to run 90 miles per hour everywhere. And for the love of everything mechanical, do not start adding gadgets that cancel the whole philosophy. USB chargers are fine. Heated grips in cold climates make sense. But the moment you are bolting on $2,000 worth of electronics and accessories, you have missed the point entirely. Let me tell you about a rider I know. He had a big adventure bike, all the features, a beautiful machine. He rode it maybe once a month because every ride felt like an event. He switched to a Himalayan and doubled his seat time in 60 days. Why? Because he could take it on gravel without worrying. He could park it anywhere. He could wrench on it in his garage instead of scheduling dealer appointments. That is the confidence loop in action. Run the cost math for 12 months and it gets even better. Insurance on a Himalayan is a fraction of what you would pay on a $20,000 bike. Fuel economy in the 60 to 70 miles per gallon range means you are spending less at the pump. Tires last longer because you are not hauling 550 pounds of bike around. Service intervals are longer and service is cheaper. For most riders, annual ownership costs land closer to $800 to $1,200 instead of $3,000 to $4,000 on a financed adventure bike. Add it all up, and the money you are not spending on payments and maintenance turns into actual miles. That is the whole point. The confidence loop is real. An easier bike means more rides. More rides means skill growth. Skill growth means bigger trips without the debt drag of financing a weekend toy. You are building capability instead of buying it. And here is what nobody tells you. Capability you build lasts forever. The electronics package you financed for 7 years is obsolete in 3 years. So what happens when you dial in the Himalayan and actually maintain it? Your retention as a rider goes up. Not one epic ride per month that you stress about for a week beforehand. 3 short rides per week that you actually look forward to. Commute on Tuesday, backroad loop on Thursday evening, dirt sampler on Saturday morning. That is how riding becomes part of your life, instead of an occasional event you have to justify. The social effect matters too. More group rides because you are not worried about keeping up with lighter bikes on the highway. Less range anxiety because you are getting 200 plus miles per tank. Wrench nights with buddies replace dealer appointments. You are building a garage culture around doing things, not buying things. That is a completely different relationship with motorcycles. This whole channel is about that shift. Building skills, wrenching on your own stuff, riding more, and spending less. The Himalayan fits that perfectly. It is not trying to be a status symbol. It is trying to be useful. And useful wins every single time when you are actually out there riding instead of posing in parking lots. Here are the stakes. Keep following the showroom script, and you are buying time payments, not seat time. You are financing someone else's idea of what a real bike should be. Or you can choose mechanical freedom, ride more, and stop letting the industry tell you what you need. The choice is yours, but the math does not lie. Here is the open loop for the next video. The one modification that unlocks 70% of the Himalayan's potential is not what you think. It does not add power, it does not add speed, but it completely changes how the bike feels every time you ride it. I will show you exactly what it is and why it matters more than anything else you could do to this bike. Let's get specific about where this bike actually wins in real American riding conditions. Urban chaos first, potholes that will swallow a wheel, speed bumps designed by sadists, parking spots that require 3-point turns. The Himalayan's low speed control and narrow profile make city riding easy. And when you drop it in a parking lot because some guy opened his door into your lane, you pick it up, check for damage, and keep going. No $1,500 fairing replacement, no insurance claim, no drama. Rural backroads are where it gets even better. Broken pavement, surprise gravel patches, frost heaves that will launch you if you are not paying attention. The Himalayan suspension travel and geometry handle it without complaint. A sport tourer with 17-inch wheels and stiff suspension will have you white-knuckling every rough section. Trail access is the obvious win. Fire roads, 2-track, mild single-track. The Himalayan's weight and seat height build confidence instead of fear. You are not wrestling 550 pounds of adventure bike through loose dirt, wondering if you are about to drop it. Cold season riding shows another advantage. Simpler electronics mean fewer gremlins when temperatures drop. The fuel injection has that almost carbureted feel, predictable, linear, no weird throttle mapping quirks. When you think about ownership horizon, run the 3-year total cost against a 7-year finance plan. The Himalayan wins on purchase price, insurance, maintenance, and parts availability. You can actually sell it without taking a massive bath, because utility bikes hold value when they are priced honestly. Time to kill some myths that keep riders financing machines they barely use. Myth 1, more tech equals safer. The truth is skill, traction, and proper fit matter infinitely more than electronic settings you will never adjust. Myth 2, you will outgrow a smaller bike. The truth is, your terrain ambition grows much faster on a manageable platform because you are actually building skill instead of managing weight and complexity. Myth 3, resale requires a premium brand badge. The truth is, utility bikes move fast if they are priced fairly and maintained properly. Myth 4, you need 100 horsepower for highway work. The truth is, route choice beats the horsepower arms race every single time. The scenic 2-lane through the hills is always better than the interstate slab, and 40 horsepower handles it just fine. Strip away those myths, and the Himalayan stops being a compromise. It becomes exactly what it was designed to be, a tool that works. Here's your implementation plan. Step 1 takes one afternoon. Baseline maintenance, tire choice, and a gearing swap if you need it. Get the bike dialed to your riding reality. Step 2 is the commitment. 3 rides per week minimum. Commute, backroad loop, dirt sampler. Mix it up, but ride consistently. Step 3 happens at the end of the month. Audit your miles, your costs, and your confidence level. Compare it honestly to your old bike or your buddy's expensive machines. The payoff is simple. More rides, less debt, higher skill level. Your garage starts serving you instead of the bank. And if you want the exact setup, my full parts list, costs, and why I chose each component, that is the next video. Then we are doing the head-to-head comparison against the CRF 250L and the XT 250, so you can see exactly how these bikes stack up in real conditions. So here is the transformation. You trade prestige payments for mechanical freedom and actual seat time. Track your miles for 30 days. If they do not double, call me out in the comments. I will own it. Ready to go deeper? Watch the setup guide next, then the comparison test. Because here's the truth that closes the loop. The $20,000 lie is that price equals riding. The real truth? Enough wins. Every single time. Now get out there and ride.